My year in politics as mayor of Apple Valley, California. Well, I wasn't really the mayor of Apple Valley. I was the honorary mayor of Apple Valley, California. Let me explain that. In 1961, Apple Valley was an unincorporated town and needed someone to represent the town in desert functions. The candidates would raise money for 3 months and then turn it over to the Chamber of Commerce. Each dollar was one vote, so whoever had the most votes or the most dollars became that year's honorary mayor. Now let me tell you about the first time I learned about the Apple Valley honorary mayor. It was at the Roy Rogers Apple Valley Inn when I was stationed at George Air Force Base in Victorville in 1968. Every Friday morning there was a live radio program called Fanny's Forum. One morning she honored George Air Force Base and I was there to sing a song. A month later, Fanny called me and invited me back to do another show. This time she introduced me to her husband Charlie, who, you guessed it, he was the honorary mayor of Apple Valley that year. I couldn't help but notice that the car he was driving belonged to Roy Rogers. The saddle console, the mounted guns, and the buffalo horns on the front grille. Roy might have had 2 cars like that. I do know that one was across the street in Roy Rogers Museum. 12 years later, after I'd been well established as an entertainer up here in the high desert, they asked me to run for honorary mayor. And I said, well, that sounds like fun. And the campaign began. I started by announcing my candidacy on Skip Young's radio program. You might remember Skip when he played Wally on the Ozzie and Harriet television show. Skip asked me what my political platform was. I said I was going to fill in all the holes at Safeway parking lot with my shovel. And Skip said, that must be one hell of a shovel. I had 4 opponents: Jack Fales, a realtor; Jerry Suter, a minister; Scott Brown owned a tile store; and Lynn Wilhite, which I don't remember. My good friends Dick Shingler and Glenn Moore, both former honorary mayors of Apple Valley, put up this sign in front of Dick's house, and the parties began. We sold Randy shirts, hats, and sold lots of alcohol. Even a local nightclub put up signs and let us use their facility for a fundraiser. Friends would have parties in their homes, and then we went to the bowling alley, the Gold Strike Lanes across the street from the Apple Valley Inn, what used to be the Roy Rogers Museum before they moved into Victorville. But boy, what a fun day Bowler Randy was. My friend Jack Russell had a formal dinner party at his house. And here I am with Benny and Monty Strong. Benny Strong was big in the 1940s with the Benny Strong Orchestra. One of his big hits was Does Your Chewing Gum Lose Its Flavor on the Bedpost Overnight? The next extravaganza was Battle of the Sexes. Now my future wife, Linda, made up all of these flyers and had them printed down at the local drugstore or something. They didn't have computers back in 1980, and I think she did a great job. We held this event at Lions Park next to the Apple Valley Inn. You can see right there on Highway 18. We had booths up there. I sang a little. Then there was the dunk tank. Now that was a lot of fun. One by one, people would get up there and pay $1 or $2. That's what happens when you sit on the dunk tank. Now the Magic Man. Now this is pretty good. He wasn't the greatest magician I've ever seen, but he had just put swords through. Well, first of all, he put his wife into this tiny little basket, put swords through it. Then he sat in it. Now, this is on a flatbed truck, so there's no bottom or anything. And he put the, voila! Look at here, magic abracadabra. His wife came out of there. Can you imagine them both sitting in that thing? That really amazed me. Then there was the donut eating contest. All right.
Oh my God.
My good friend Doris Davies set everything off with a whistle, and they started eating. There we go.
The winner, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. John is 1-0. Ladies and gentlemen, the champion. He almost pulled the whole table over when he stood up.
Then it was the men against the women. That's what the day was all about, the battle of the sexes. Look at all those people out there. The girls on this side and the men on the far side.
Oh, and it looks like the men are winning. The men are winning. However, could be a standoff. Hang on tight, everybody. Uh-oh. Oh, it's over. The men win it.
Our celebrity of the day was my friend Alvy Moore. He played Hank Kimball on the Green Acres television show back in the late 60s and early 70s. He had this to say.
I just want to say that it's delighted being here. I hope Randy gets this position because if he wants it, he's a deserving guy. He's a credit to your community. And I've known him, as I say, for a lot of years. He started at the bottom of the ladder, and he stayed there.
Now we've come to the end of the campaign, and the winner is me. We raised over $10,000 to turn over to the chamber. It's from the San Bernardino Sun. There's Marie Schmidt, the past honorary mayor. She's congratulating me, and I'm wearing the now famous mayor hat.
Yes, lady love, you got the things I need, and I want to stay around, lady love.
That night at the Apple Valley Inn Blossom Room, where I was performing, Jim Corby and Gary Murray carried me around the room to celebrate. Another actor from the Green Acres television show was Mr. Haney, Pat Buttram. Pat was in town. He was Grand Marshal of the parade the next day. So he came up on stage with me and entertained the audience. What a fun guy that guy was. Years ago, he was Gene Autry's sidekick in the old 1940s movies, if you remember them. And of course, he was the Grand Marshal, Mr. Haney from Green Acres. And there I am in my first parade as honorary mayor. Next, the victory party. We had it in my parents' backyard in Apple Valley. You can see all my constituents gathered there. Now there's a dead ringer if ever I saw one.
The first and hopefully last Randy Andrew lookalike contest. And we've got some contestants, and what I'd like you to do is just sit in the chair there.
That's my chair over there.
That's your chair.
Sit and you take it over.
The legs fall down. And we want you to be the judge, okay?
Well, there's a dead ringer for me, Mike Shellhammer. There's Ronnie Braswell. I had to put a little mustache on for that one. Then there's there's Linda's mom imitating me as Elvis Presley in my show.
The winner of the Randy Andrews. Well, where's my hat?
Isn't the resemblance uncanny?
Is it?
Snuffy takes the cake. Well, you can look closely. You can see my eyes. We have the same eyes.
And Randy, we just want you to stand there and humbly listen to these hallowed words that you are very familiar with.
Drink.
1, 2, 2, 3. Oh Lord, we're glad you're our mayor. We all work so hard every day.
Same eyes.
We can't wait for it to be over. We're so tired, what more can we say? To work with you was so much fun. We are so glad that you have. Oh Lord, we're glad you're our mayor. 'Cause to us you're one hell of a man. Last but not least, we have, a final award.
All right.
Now, when I say open your eyes, open your eyes. Now.
Be humble.
That was humble pie. If this is it, I don't want to be honorary mayor anymore.
Now, this is what a mayor has to do for that year. First of all, my campaign promise.
Hi, I'm Randy Andrew, Honorary Mayor of Apple Valley, California. And I'm here in the Safeway parking lot, and I've been filling my first campaign promise to fill in all the holes here in the Safeway parking lot. And if you could pan down to show some of my work, I've been working on this now for the past week and a half, and
First of all,
I've
my
managed to
campaign
fill in
promise.
just about every single hole. Yes, been filling in the holes. There's one of my constituents now. Let me just step on up here. Is there... Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I am so proud of this lady. This is my mother coming out of the store. This is my mother. She moved out here from Indiana, and I'm so happy. Let me see. Can you see her? Look at her. Hi, Mother.
I thought it was.
Mother. Mother.
Okay, let me mess this up.
It's my mother. This lady right here was head of my campaign. She worked so hard. This is Linda Corby. Hi, Linda. Hi.
Hold it,
Watch your way. I want to. Can I help you with your bag?
Kind of in a hurry, I mean, if you, I don't need any help. I really don't.
I want to help you.
I
want to help you. I'm sorry. Testing. Is this still working? I'm sorry, Linda. John, excuse me. I don't. Let me see. Excuse me a moment. We'll just get out of the way here. I just want to thank you all, and I hope that you enjoyed this interview. And I'll be seeing you all very soon. And if there's anything I can do for you as honorary mayor, I please ask you to give me a call.
Here's me and my now future wife, Linda, my dad, and we're out at the older ranch for the raising of the largest American flag in the country at the time. Joining me on stage was June Wade. June Wade, beautiful singer, member of the country congregation, and her and I entertained for that event. Being a lowly airman, it was really exciting to meet the base commander, General Meyer, one-star General Meyer at the time. And was really neat as a lowly airman to be invited out to George Air Force Base, have lunch in the officers' quarters. It was really quite an honor. A few months later, General Meyer received his second star and was shipped to another base. I was asked to speak on behalf of Apple Valley at his going-away party at George Air Force Base. And of course, I represented Apple Valley each month for the Airman of the Month, here giving an award to one of the recipients. One of the fun perks was getting to ride around in a limousine occasionally, being delivered to my next destination. In this case, it was the grand opening of a real estate office. This is Jason Thompson. He was with the Anaheim Angels at the time. He's a local boy, in fact. This is me with Josh Taylor. He was there for that grand opening. You might remember him from the Valerie show, The Hogan Family. He was the father on that program. And then there were the many duties of a mayor. Appearing in the paper quite often with various organizations, awards, getting together with honorary mayors. Here are the 4 mayors of the high desert lighting the Christmas tree in Victorville. Wasn't very big, was it? Skip Young loved chili cook-offs. In fact, he was the head judge for our chili cook-off up here. In fact, he was the head judge for chili cook-offs throughout Southern California. Skip asked me to be a judge that year, and I wasn't a very good judge because I liked Hormel, I liked Denison's chili, and if it tasted like that, that's what I voted for. And that was the last time Skip asked me to be a judge. A year before that, we did have an entry into the chili cook-off in Apple Valley. We were the Mayor's Chili Bank, and we took our fellow mayors back to the 1920s. Here we are arriving. There was a parade that brought all of the contestants in on the side of, this was at the community center in Apple Valley where this was being held. You see, we have quite an eclectic group of mayors and friends, and there's Mom, yeah. There's our booth, the Mayor Chili Bank. And this was the High Desert Honorary Mayor at the time, past Apple Valley Mayor, Jean Moore. There's 2 beautiful ladies, my mother and my aunt. They were attending. Here's Dusty Rogers, Roy Rogers Jr., talented singer. When the Roy Rogers Dale Evans Museum closed here in town, it moved to Branson, and he was the headliner at the Roy Rogers Dale Evans Museum in Branson. Here's Dusty, Linda, and me.
The team captain is Randy Andrew, the honorary mayor of Apple Valley. Randy Andrew, yay! Thank you, Skip. Well, gang, this is it, the chili cook-off. What a turnout we've had today. Look at all the people out here.
And here's the gang cheering on our chili, which did not win the contest that day. A year later at the chili cook-off, we got wild and called ourselves the Fakawi Indian Chili Gobblers. I asked my friend Jim Corby, who was a jet pilot for Contel in Victorville, if he could do a flyover. And Jim didn't let us down, as I was on stage saying, "Let's all pray for Big Silverbird from sky." From the hill behind me came the Contel jet. It scared the heck out of a lot of people, including me, and I knew it was coming. A little later, Dale Evans arrived at the event, so we had a little chat. The Rogers family had lived in Apple Valley for almost 25 years when I was honorary mayor, so from time to time during that year, we got together. This one at the Cancer Society banquet at the Holiday Inn in Victorville. And then Roy Rogers threw the first ball in at a ball game, and I sang the national anthem. And there we are. And my time as mayor was getting short. I'd had such a good time a year before running for honorary mayor, I decided to do it again. This time, I was Doris D. Johnson. When I announced my candidacy on the Skip Young Show, I told him, "I'm going to diversify Apple Valley by planting grape trees down the middle of Highway 18. Of course, I was kidding. And on a warm September evening in 1981, I crowned the new mayor of Apple Valley, retired Air Force Colonel Don Vallette. The next day, my friend Alvy Moore, who played Hank Kimball on the Green Acres television show, returned to be Grand Marshal of our parade. Here's my mother, me, and Carolyn Moore, and of course Alvy. And here's Skip Young interviewing Alvy just before the parade, live on KAVR Radio. Where do old mayors go when their mayor's term is over? Well, they partied just like they did when they were in office. We'd pull out our guitars and our gut buckets, make some music, get on a flatbed truck, and head down any street that wanted to have us in their parade. And that's my story of my year in politics. So if you're ever watching a parade and in the distance you hear, "Oh Lord, it's good to be mayors," keep your eyes open and you may see the float with the honorary mayors of the past.